global warming must be examined from a point of view of relative damage. Who will suffer more? There's two criteria you have to look at. The first is how vulnerable is a region's agricultural production zones, and second, how important are its coastal populations. The northern European plain is long, but thin, so a change in what is considered an ideal climate for growing wheat of just a couple of degrees of latitude could be disastrous for northern Europe. The eastern half of the Russian wheat belt is even thinner and more vulnerable, but if you shift that production zone north or south, you're moving into areas with no infrastructure and no populations, which would be the end of producing in those areas. The western half of the Russian wheat belt is also called Ukraine. It's considerably thicker, 3 times as much as the eastern part, making it far more resistant to climate shifts, but making it far more necessary for Moscow to maintain control of it. Other locations such as South Africa, Australia, northern China, and Central Asia are already marginal. Even a slight climate shift could push them all into outright desertification. And South Asian locations, most notably Pakistan and India, are utterly dependent upon the moisture brought in by the monsoons. Change the global climate, and regional weather patterns like that are no longer guaranteed to exist, which could turn some of these areas into wastelands. And many of these zones are both low-lying and coastal. Cities as varied as Caracas, Santos, Stockholm, Rotterdam, Alexandria, Dubai, Osaka, Ho Chi Minh City, Sydney, all of them would slip under the waves. The worst damage would be reserved for the Chinese, because all of their major coastal zones, all of the coastal zones which have generated all that economic growth over the last 15 years, are all at risk. Everything from Hong Kong to Tianjin to Shanghai would be gone. One notable exception is the United States. The greater Midwest region is not only all interior, but it is over 1,000 miles east to west and north to south, making it not just the largest contiguous chunk of arable land in the world, but large in all dimensions. A shift of a few degrees of latitude north-south may damage it, but it wouldn't cripple it. Any climate shift that would be sufficient to noticeably damage the American Midwest would be absolutely devastating everywhere else.